life, brother. Um,
Thank you, Marcus.
and I'll get to my points, but I just was out when I was waiting here. I was thinking, I was like, well, dude, this is probably going to be turned into a movie someday, right? I mean, it's
Absolutely.
hopefully with a with a better ending that we find the perp and we find Miss Nancy. Um, but you're going to be cast in that movie, brother. Like I'm just telling you from an outsider, I think JLR Investigates is going to be casted in that movie whenever that happens in 5 years or whatever. But just something to think about. I'm just, you know, I I'm like that's seriously going to happen. But at any rate, I know you don't like to get your ego massaged too much, but you're the goat, brother. I just had to tell you that. So
Hey, I appreciate that. Thank you.
yeah, and no, have you ever thought about that? Like this is going to be a movie, don't you think?
Oh yeah, it's a made for TV movie. Absolutely.
Yeah, I just
Absolutely. We all, we're out there covering the case. We're doing, streaming and doing what we do and keeping the forums open and everything like that. So yeah, it'll probably be part. It would have to be part of the mix. I mean, when this story and everything like that about, the people out there each and every day, covering Nancy and people's opinions and callers and everything, that has to be, because if they don't include that, then you're not telling the real story.
dude, it's you guys opened my eyes because I mean I never followed streamers before. Like and I was in my from my point of view and like what up chat? I just wanted to give a shout out to the chat. Um,
We got the best chat on the internet by
from my,
far. Not
so
even close.
here's a guy's point of view because I mean I know we got a lot of ladies in here and they're all beautiful and we're all longing for Nancy, but football ended and I'm like shit I need something to do. I'm like going through withdrawals. Unfortunately, Nancy goes missing, and then I find you, and then I've been hooked ever since. It kind of like everything just fell into place,
Yeah,
and
it
now
happened
like
right after football, right? I mean, I guess, when I was out there, it was crazy because when I was out there was journalists, some of the remaining journalists at the time were all
Mhm.
huddled in a tent out there watching the Super Bowl
Exactly, dude. It was
outside of Nancy Guthrie's house. They were watching the Super Bowl.
yeah, it was a trip. Yeah, that whole scene. And seriously, people that bitch that you guys are out there could shut up because dude, if this was in New York City or like some like bigger city, there would be 50 paparazzi 24/7, 100 streamers, like there would be some like just because it happened in Pima County on that street in that shady neighborhood is the only reason why people are bitching and anybody cares about it, right? Dude, like if this happened even in Pittsburgh, we're a small city, but like, dude, the city would be flooded with like wanting answers and like what's going on. Um, it's just really weird and it's unfortunate that like that whole thing is like that whole neighborhood is like that. I mean, honestly, um, I know you've had good experiences and like talk, but like
I can't say anything wrong about neighbors or anything like that because my interactions,
and I
are fine.
look, and I know, if I was you, I wouldn't even say if you did, right? Because I mean, it's nothing. It wasn't. It's nothing that big, but like just the way that the whole community hasn't like came around. I mean, everybody like is the same way. Like, dude, there would be all Savannah Guthrie would have to say is, can we go help find my mom? Dude, there would be thousands of
It
people
will be thousands,
lined up.
tens of thousands.
It would take her 30 seconds, bro, to get thousands of people lined up to find her mom. Like,
She
why?
just has to say the word
That's
on her
it.
network.
Why
That's
not?
it. It's game over. If she
Yeah.
does that, it's game over. But
Right,
she doesn't do that.
right. And that's what's infuriating to all of us. Cause like we're like, and every family's different. This is my 2 cents. But there's people have a lot of friction and whatnot, and some don't. I have a small family like Savannah. I have one brother and one sister. And if Savannah's family gets along like they act like they do, Savannah has generational wealth. Why hasn't she at least just paid off the kid like her sister and brother's mortgages? Okay, like she has generational wealth. Life is so short. Okay, my siblings, their houses will be paid off. Their kids' college will be paid off. They would have brand new cars. Even if you don't get along, and you would have security. Like if they get along like they say they would, Savannah's mother and Annie would have like some sort of security, better than like a Ring doorbell without a subscription. Okay, like if you're worth $50 million, you you would think at least NBC would reach out to like, let's get a team in here to like make sure our high profile family members, have security. Like why won't you do that if you're that close? So that's why I don't think Savannah has anything to do with it. I think she's just naive as hell. I feel bad, terrible for her, but all she has to do is say, like, can we get some help? Dude, people would be like lined up down the streets. I'm sorry, I'm rambling, but I'm like,
You're good. Go ahead.
yeah, because like this is frustrating, and like it gets to a point whenever I'm calling you, that's how like pissed off I am. Like everything could be done so differently, more efficiently, and so that's why like the whole, like I said, every family's different, but for Annie to have to worry about money, and which is why I think caused like this whole thing, because there's definitely, if they're not involved, there's at least blood on their hands, from my opinion, because of lack of like security and due diligence. It's 2026, bro. Like teachers get arrested for pedo, and they got like reporters down the street. Obviously, you got a high profile newscaster. Let's make sure the mom and the sister have like some sort of security. I don't know, my 2 cents. Um, and Nancy's 84 years old. Like, come on, bro. Like, can we not do something to help her a little bit? Like, that's what I think is frustrating most of us. And it's like the elephant in the room. All this should have been avoided from the get go. Okay, so thanks for letting me get on that soapbox. Um, are we still good? Am I still sounding okay?
No, you're good. You're good. We got the
All right.
callers. We got the callers starting to call in the Pima County. I wanted to throw that up here, but yeah, go ahead. You got a couple more minutes. Go for it.
Thanks, bro. Thanks, brother. I'll get to my last points here. Um, First, like side note, George Anthony and Nanos look like twins to me for some reason. Even their mannerisms, and just the
George
way they
Anthony.
talk. Yeah, George Anthony. What's his face is that murderer's
Oh,
father. Doesn't
Casey Anthony's dad.
Yeah, and nothing against George Anthony. I mean, I know, but like they just for
They
me
do
like
look alike
they
at the
look
time.
alike. Their mannerisms and like just the way they carry themselves, like they're just like their egos, like they're like they just think they're like the toughest shit around, which they're not. But yeah, that was a side note. Um, but yeah, so I definitely think uh, Tommy's involved. I mean, there's that's who else is going to benefit? Okay, we're talking about life insurance policies. What about the movie and the books that are going to be written about this? That's all royalties too. So I'm sure like he has a like there's it's not just $1 million life insurance or house that they're going to split up. I mean, we're talking probably a chunk of change. But so there's a lot more involved there. It's not just like a house that's worth $1 million or whatever. There's going to be TV rights. Annie's going to write a book or a poem. Tommy's going to try to write a song, and with his D-list band, down the bar down the street about this. So there's a lot of ways that they're going to try to benefit. Tommy's going to show up at Crom Con in 10 years, like, yeah, I'm Nancy Guthrie's son-in-law. You know what I mean? Signing autographs for like $10 a piece. Like, give me a break, bro. Um,
Do you
he's
know
gonna,
about CrimeCon? You seen CrimeCon?
I've never been there, but I mean, I can imagine what it's all about. It's going to be people that are trying to, it's cool. I get it. But like Tommy seems like that. I think that's what's going to happen. Hopefully he's in prison. He's not signing autographs for $10 a piece. But, I just, there's no other way that what else is there to gain from anyone else trying to do this to her?
Hey, thank you, Marcus. Come on back
Thanks, brother.
anytime.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Take care of yourself.